Traders, welcome back. How are we? Hope you're all well. Happy Thanksgiving to all of our American cousins. Hope you're having a good Thanksgiving. And if you are American and watching this, you may be drunk because it's Thanksgiving. So good for you. Enjoy. Also, guys, what are we going to do during this live stream? Let me explain. We are going to show you two trades that I am currently in, guys. All right, so we're going to explain those in detail. We had another two setups today. I am in them. I will explain why and show you my targets and everything as well. We're also going to look at another one that's potentially setting up as well. All right, so there's two trades I'm in. There's one trade I like right now as well. So we are going to look at all of that. Also, we are going to answer as many of your questions as possible, guys, right? So please get all of your questions over to me, and I will be happy to answer all of them, especially as it's Thanksgiving. That's the sort of mood I'm in. Let's just answer all of them. I'm not American, obviously, you can tell by the accent, but yeah, there you go. What else are we going to do? What else did I want to share with you? There's no news. Obviously, guys, you know, sometimes we look at the news, but yeah, as you can see, the States, Thanksgiving, and there's not much in the way of news today. There is some late at night, right? So Tokyo core CPI. So yeah, that could affect any yen pair. Before we get started, guys, I wanted to explain that if I look disheveled, or you're thinking, Tom, you look very disheveled today, then firstly, thank you for those kind words. And secondly, my daughter came into our bedroom last night and just vomited everywhere, including over me and the bed, everything. So yeah, didn't have the best night's sleep, and was just basically getting the smell of sick out of me and my clothes all day. So yeah, if you're wondering why that is, then there you go. I've also got my coffee as a result. Okay, this is very important today. And yeah, please don't remind me. I am a Liverpool fan. It's very depressing. Everything is going wrong at the moment. But guys, I will be slurping on my coffee quite a bit. I need it. Right, I can see a few people turning up. So hello, everyone. Let's just say a few hellos. Hi, Ikram. Ikram says, this is my cricket time. I see your every video on night, so you can analyze for me Aussie dollar, US dollar. When you say cricket time, do you mean the sport cricket, or do you mean the insects cricket? Please explain it, Ikram. I would know. I'd like to know. Tony, how are you, mate? Let's do this. Luigi, how are you? Emperor Nero, Rodrigo, and Nero said, hope she's okay. Don't worry about her, Nero. Worry about me smelling of sick. That's what. I'm only joking. I am a good dad, I think. Who knows, really? You know, it's more like coping than anything. She's 2 years old. So there you go. Right, let's stop talking about all that. Let's get into the trades, guys, right? So again, let's start with this, because if I show you this, guys, this just shows you all of my trade ideas for today. So Thursday the 27th, these are my trade ideas. Okay, now I am in Aussie dollar CAD and Aussie dollar Swiss franc, and I'm also looking at Euro, no, not Euro Aussie dollar, but Euro Swiss franc. Will we be entering this as well? This is what we're going to look at. So we're going to look at two live trades and one potential trade that could be setting up very shortly. And I've just seen out the corner of my eye, Kev, how are you, mate? Yo, Tom, long time, mate. Yeah. Hello, Kev. How are you, mate? All good. Kev, you've probably joined because you're Arsenal, right? You've probably joined to rub it in that Liverpool are terrible and Arsenal are good. I appreciate that, Kev. Thank you. So, yeah, here we go. Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. This is the first trade that I am in. Now, as you can see, Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar is a little bit scruffy. It's just a scruffy pair anyway, because Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar are very similar, right, in a lot of ways. But basically, you know, there was this kind of level here, price come back down again, and then we kind of shot up, right? So this level was important for me in here, all right? And as you can see, right, we have broken that level, okay? And we've had this big bullish daily candle, right? Now, focus on this big bullish daily candle. Not easy to say, especially if you've had a few vodkas, because this is the reason why I've been aggressive with this trade, right? You know, buyers are in the market, buyers are in the market, buyers are in the market. Will it break this level? Then kapow, right? Buyers have really pushed through, which is why I have been aggressive with my trade. Because if you look at the H4 guys, right, you know, normally guys, right, and I did a tutorial on this in the VIP Discord, actually, literally yesterday. Okay, Kev has made me feel slightly better. Kev, I'm united. You can't get worse than that, than us. No, I don't know though. We probably are a little bit worse at the moment. Anyway, stop talking about football. Let's focus on trading. So, you know, the usual things, guys, right? I want to be with H4 structure, which I am, right? We're also getting higher highs. These highs were broken, which was another reason I was aggressive. Another reason why I was aggressive, I could hide my stop loss. You can see my trade here below these lows, okay? And there's still room to move into back up to these highs in here. So, yes, I've been aggressive with the trade, but for all of those reasons, that is why, okay? You know, because normally, guys, you know, I'd wait for a pullback towards the river, right? Our smart river. Okay, we get a reaction in here, okay, and then we can start buying. Now, that might still happen, right? Quite possibly, right? But what I'm seeing is bullish candle, bullish bottom wick, you know, bullish daily candle. There's a lot of buying momentum here, right? And that is also combined with that yesterday, right, was a very much a risk on day. And I'll explain a little bit about that in a minute. So yeah, for all of those reasons, guys, I'm in this Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar trade. Before we look at my next trade, let me just explain that risk on, risk off thing, or what do you want to call it? What's a better word for it than a thing? Thing, that's what we're going to call it. Where's the NASDAQ? So just look, right? So this is very much risk off, right? Price is storming down, lower highs, lower lows, right? You know, typically you're going to see yen strength, gold weakness. But once it got back to these lows, again, I spoke about this in my weekly forecast. This level was crucial, you know, and we could expect a bounce from this level. Now, how big a bounce we got, nobody knows. But as it goes to, you know, as it turns out, we've had a humongously strong bounce, even breaking that high in there, right? So all of this means we are back in a risk on environment, and risk on basically means investors are willing to take more risk on, and that means they will invest in stocks. Stocks are a typical riskier asset than, for example, bonds. You know, in a risk off environment, you know, people will lean towards bonds, right? They're safer. And that's why a lot of analysts will keep an eye on the bond price, right? In relation to the NASDAQ as well. So yeah, we was in risk off, back in this risk on. But you know, the way the markets are at the moment, guys, it could go there, right? And we'll be back in risk on, risk off, right? Or it could go up there and we'll be, you know, continue risk on. It's very volatile markets at the moment, right? Just look at that. Big sell-off, big push back up, big sell-off, push back up, big sell-off, big push back up. That is what leads to all of the volatility in a lot of the currency pairs as well, right? It's really important you understand that correlation. Pretty much before, when I do my weekly forecast on a Saturday, if I'm basically looking at the NASDAQ before I look at anything else, because this will reinforce some of the Forex trade ideas I have, or it won't, right? So super important, guys, that. But yeah, look, just look at the buyers, right? Buyers are back with a vengeance. And I also think, this is just purely speculation, and you know me, I'm not about speculation, I'm about cold, hard facts on a chart. But, Trump doesn't want to be the man under his tenure where the indices drop like stones, right? He wouldn't have that for his ego, right? How bad would that look? Trump, businessman, super pro-business, and the indices drop like stones. So I think there's an element of that to it, but that is pure speculation. So this risk on means Aussie dollar strength, right? And we saw Aussie dollar strength come into the market. So my Aussie dollar Canadian dollar idea, right, makes sense. Also, I am in Aussie dollar Swiss franc. The Chiefy, Aussie dollar Chiefy, I call it. Everyone's got a name for the Swiss franc because it's CHF. I call it Chiefy. Am I saying this all out loud? Am I sharing my little nicknames for currencies? Get a room, Tom. But here, guys, is pretty much a range, right? The bigger picture. This would be more the weekly chart, right? But we're basically ranging from here and here, right? Bang, bang, a bit of messing around, but bang, 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 can we make it back up to the highs? So that's the big burning question. And again, not speculation. I have no preconceptions of this currency pair. I'm going to show you the facts, right? The facts are this. Again, we had this level through here, similar to Aussie dollar Swiss franc, right? Where we had a big reaction down. But again, we've broken that with this candle here, and we're continuing to push higher today, right? Potentially getting higher lows here, right? So we're seeing an uptrend form, and we're in that range as well, which means we can try and make it to the top of the range, right? And somebody pointed out to me the other day that I say right a lot. Right. So yeah, it's a little, I don't know what it is, but I do say right a lot. And yeah, this goes back to that weekly chart, right? From here to here. This was one of my weekly Forex trades. Again, on Saturday, I give you my weekly Forex forecast. This was one of my weekly trades to take price from here back up to here. Right, we're in this range, big bullish candles down the bottom. Can we take it back up? So lots of confluence, right? And then on the H4, guys, again, I've not waited for the pullback, right? And again, there's a tutorial on this that I did yesterday in the VIP. But you can see, the basics are there, right? We're in a H4 uptrend. Okay, I managed to hide my stop below these lows, right? That's super important. And there's enough room for us to move into before we start hitting this resistance. I might let a little bit of profit run. I might not. It's so close to the highs anyway, to the resistance level anyway. But, why was I aggressive? Because we had a nice bullish candle that broke the high of that candle. We're in this H4 uptrend. We're getting nothing but bullish candles, right? It still might want to retrace into the river, right? Fine, it can. My stop loss is down here. Yeah, it still might want to do that, but I was aggressive for all of those reasons and that daily candle, right? You know, another big bullish daily candle. And why I like it is because it's broken resistance. You can see price stuttering here, right? Sellers have come in force, right? This is reading candlesticks. So right here, buyers, did I say sellers? Buyers, I've been drinking this coffee that's enough to make you dance naked on tables. But this candle here, right, obviously buyers are in. Buyers are in, buyers are in, but they're not pushing it past this level. And then bang, right? This candle finally makes the breakthrough. And that suggests sellers have given up, right? Sellers were here, right? So again, that's another reason why I was aggressive as well. So let's see, guys, right? And, you know, again, you've seen how quickly the market can go from a risk on to a risk off. And I would say that is what is the catalyst for losing trades, right? Because when the market has a big shift like that, you know, trades are going to quickly correct themselves, right? Or move in the opposite direction quickly. So, you know, that is what will catch you out and end up with a losing trade, right? But so far, so good. What else am I looking at? Let me just share one more pair that I'm looking at. This is all about a question of room, right? Now, at 6 p.m. Dubai time, which is 2 p.m. UK time, which is, I don't know what time, New York time, I'm still interested in Euro Swiss franc as well. Guys, I will get round to your questions. I apologize for me prattling on so much, but, you know, part of the reason you're here is to see what trades I'm looking at. So we talked about this yesterday, right? I took some profit off this trade yesterday. We're getting higher highs now, right? We're in an uptrend, okay? These lows held. We've got this nice big bullish candle. And this is bearish, but it's not telling me sellers have taken control, right? For me, buyers are still in control here. And we still have some room back up to this level in here, where you can see all this resistance, right? Now, on the H4, if the H4 candle finishes like this, right, I will take this trade. Right, I will take it. I will start buying in here, stops below here, and I'll look to take price back up to there and get my 1:1. So that is a trade I will take if the candle finishes like that. Now, if it finishes like this and we get a wick, right, even not a super, let's really zoom in here. If it finishes like this, right, not even a massive wick, but if it finishes like this and this wick closes back into this wick, then I'm not interested, right? But if we get a candle like this, right, that breaks that high, I'm interested and I will take the trade. Okay, I'm still in this trade just, so I took some profit up here, right? You know, more luck than judgment that. Right, it was just coming towards the end of the trading day. I closed 80% of my trade here. This was my buy trade from yesterday, and I'm still in it for 20%, basically, right? But yeah, if this finishes like that, I will take that trade. Now, if the flip side of that is it could be too bullish, right? If I end up getting a candle that looks like that, then I'm not interested. There's no value, right? I don't want to start buying here, stops here, there's my target, right? Doesn't make sense. Okay, so yeah, we're going to keep a close eye on Euro Swiss franc. All right, guys. Yeah, and guys, as always, like if you want all of my trades, right, literally, you know, as and when they happen with my entries, stop losses, take profits, right, here, here, then please come join our VIP Trading Academy. We've got the free Discord, which is totally free. And then obviously we have the VIP Trading Academy, which is not free, but subscription, it's not much, come join. Okay, guys. So yeah, let's look at a few questions now. So hi, Eugene. Hi, Niraj. Hi, Path. Path is asking me about gold. All right, so let's take a look at gold now. Before we do, can I please ask everyone to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. If you don't, I will send the editor around your house. You do not want that. Right, gold. Let's do the usual, right? Now, we are in, okay, remember we had a bit of a sell-off on gold that didn't last long, right? And now, ultimately this, right? Ultimately this, but obviously, if I draw that again, you can see there was potentially a level here of interest, right? But it's broken. So this candle says to me that we can buy gold. Okay, and we also know that US dollar is at that 100, is reacting bearishly at that 100 level, which we'll take a look at, right? So with that in mind, I think we have a nice trade from here back up to here, right? Which is still lots of pips. You can make a lot of profit in that space. You know, this is the daily chart. Right, so on the daily, if you said, Tom, what would you do? I would 100% buy that up to this level, but no further than this level. Right, I would then want to see a break and a retest, and then we could start buying again. But there is a bit of a but here, and it's just a weekly chart. Right now, we know gold's been flying, but it become very overextended. And we had a bit of a sell-off, which didn't last long. Price pushed back up, but then we got another big wick rejection. You know, are sellers coming back in, right? And the answer is yes, they are, but how strong are they? And then, you know, and then last week was just a doji. And that's not surprising, right? You've got that selling pressure that we can see in these wicks and candles, but we're in an uptrend. So it's no surprise to me that last week was a doji, right? You know, and do I want to start buying into this doji or even this level here? Probably not, right? But I think we have a buy trade, and on the day chart, just to this level. Okay. Now, if we look at the H4, just looking at that chart, you know, you don't even need to look at the H4. The H4 will be in an uptrend, right? There you go. But it's stuttering a bit, right? Now, as you can see, you know, price has been, it's just been, you can see it just keeps ranging. It's not sure. And then it's pushed up. We are in an uptrend. And then that is ranging, right? So how I would trade gold, I'd only be interested in buys, right? That's all I'd be interested in. And what I'd suggest is if we get a break of this, right? If you get a nice bullish H4 candle, break through this level, right? Maybe wait for a slight retest. We could start buying in here, right? Stops below here and look to take price back up to these highs in here. I think that's a nice trade. But only if that happens. I don't want to be jumping in here because you can see there's a fight, right? There's a fight in there that we're not sure who's going to win, right? You've got buyers and sellers. You know, when you have buyers and sellers fighting to the death, like, you know, Bruce Lee and Hulk Hogan, I'd like to see that fight. We're not going to. They're both dead, but I would like to see that fight. All right, who's alive? What fight would we like to see where people are alive? I'd like to see Tyson Fury No. I'd like to see, yeah, Tyson Fury against Conor McGregor, and no rules. That's what I'd like to see. Or I would love to have seen Mike Tyson versus a gorilla in his prime, just to see if Mike Tyson could actually hurt a gorilla. I don't think he could. Anyway, that's how my mind works. Welcome to the inner workings of my strange mind. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, so that's what you get. That's what you've got here. There's no winner, right? If you get bang, we've got a winner. We can follow the winners. And I actually like this. I know I've spoke about this before. I like consolidation with trend, and then if we get a break, we've got a nice trade on our hands, right? You'll see them everywhere. Yeah, even here, you don't have to look that far, but between here and here, right? Consolidation, price doesn't know what to do, doesn't know what to do, doesn't. As soon as we get a break, right? Bang, you're going to get some movement, right? So yeah, that's my view on Path Gold. So Path, are you buying? I took gold at 4134. Okay, so Path is in here, 4134. Okay, so Path is in, you're in about here. So you got in about here, I assume yesterday, right? Stop loss is 411. Okay. So you've traded the H4, right? You've got in here, you've seen these wicks, you started buying in here, you've protected yourself below those wicks, and I assume you're potentially looking to take price up into here somewhere. Okay, but first of all, I bought it on Tuesday, 2 days back. Okay, right, so maybe you bought the break. All right, I think you've got a nice trade on your hands, Path there. And there's no US dollar news to worry about, right? The only thing you have, or Trump opening his mouth. I assume Trump has a day off from opening his mouth on Thanksgiving. Let's hope so. I'd say that man has definitely cost me more money than made me money this year, for sure. I've got slightly, I don't know what's in that coffee, slightly sweating. Right, any other questions, guys? Don't be shy. Please come and share all of your questions with me. I will be happy to answer any of them. Before we do, guys, if I could please ask everyone to take a look at the website. If you look above my head, www.simply-forex.com. If you go in there, guys, you can see all of our premium trading education, right? We've got the course, we've got the VIP Academy, and we've got the mentorship program, and we've got our new indicator, guys. So there's something there for everyone, and it's Christmas. So ho, ho, ho. Also, guys, if you look at the middle there, come join our Discord channel, right? We have a free trading community. You can come on, share knowledge, share ideas, talk to other traders. So why not come join the free Discord? It's a no-brainer. And Discord is so much better than, you get these WhatsApp groups or you get these Telegram groups, but you can't do anything in them. Whereas Discord is like, I'm saying this because I'm only finding it all out for myself, right? But yeah, you can do so much in a Discord room. And then finally, guys, please check out our promotion with Pepperstone. So if you sign up with Pepperstone, a world-class leading broker, we will give you free access to the VIP Academy, and we'll give you a free Essential Trading View subscription, right? So just use the link, use our link, sign up with them, bish bash bosh, you will have things coming your way. Okay, so all right, so Path is telling us this. So Path saying I bought it at the break of the H4 head and shoulders. So okay, so Path is seeing this, right? So shoulder, head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. So once we broke this, and you can see there's a level through here, guys, actually, right? If I drag this through. Right, okay, so path has bought the break, right? In here somewhere, right? So there's the shoulder, there's the head, and there's the shoulder. And interestingly, guys, right, I did a what's it called, video. Bear with me, I've had zero sleep. My daughter was projectile vomiting on me last night. I'm not exaggerating. So recently I've done a head and shoulders video, right? And to be honest with you, chart patterns are not worth the paper they're written on, because all you're trading here is a structure break, right? It is a head and shoulders pattern, but it is irrelevant. What's relevant, right, is this, that you broke this level. That's the important bit, right? Because you're in this H4 in a downtrend, and then bang, we get a break, right? And this is also interesting. So I don't care what's in here. That could be a double bottom, a cup and saucer, a flag and pennant, a head and shoulders. You know the chart patterns, and you get those chart pattern cheat sheets. If anyone has a chart pattern cheat sheet on their desk, burn it, right? Literally burn it. Seems a little extreme, but burn it, right? Because it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter, right? What you've traded here is a break of H4 structure. As soon as that breaks, we're in a H4 uptrend. And also, what is really important here is people get in here, right? People start buying the break, which is totally fine, right? Because people think, oh shit, I'm going to miss this trade. I've got to get in now. But look, this happens most of the time. Price comes up and then it comes back to the level that it broke, right? A textbook break and retest. So don't worry about if you've missed the trade here. Rarely will it just do that. It can do, right? I'm not saying that will never happen, but rarely will it just fly off. And if it does, it's news related, right? So you can just still wait for the break and retest, right? You could get in here somewhere, right? And so far, so good. You'll be in a nice trade, right? And what I really like, guys, is the fact that you can kind of see a bit of resistance here, but this candle, I know it's only like a couple of pips, but the body of that candle has meant that we have a higher high. And for me, that is a continuation of trend, right? So that's what gives me great confidence in this trade, right? That would really be a reason, an extra piece of confluence for me to take the trade, right? Stops down here, away you go. So path, looking good, mate. Yeah, nice trade. Jane, how are you? Welcome. Eugene has took profit on silver. Eugene, would you mind sharing your trade? Where did you enter? Where did you put your stop loss? Where was your take profit? And we can bring that up on the silver chart. So yeah, get your digits over to me. It's not a chat up line. I didn't mean like get your number over to me. I meant your chart numbers. Imagine saying that in a nightclub. Excuse me, love, why don't you get your digits over to me? Anyway, Jane, hi. Jane wants to look at Euro, Aussie dollar. Yeah, just path. So path's agreeing here. Yeah, you're right. It's a simple break that makes the pattern. Exactly. That's all it is. And it's a break and retest is a lovely entry, right? Simple as that, guys. But look, path, whatever got you into that trade was good price action and reading of the market. And that's what I care about, right? So yeah, good stuff, path. Right, Jane, Euro, Aussie dollar, sell now or wait? I know the euro Aussie dollar chart and its weight. There's no value, right? Because it's on my trading list. So let's look at euro Aussie dollar, right? Weight. Yeah, because we are literally at those lows. And really, we haven't broken those lows, right? We haven't. Yeah, it's broken H4 structure up here for sure, right? If we look at the H4, bang, right? It's definitely broken the H4. So that's what we want. It's broken out of this channel, right? You can see this blue line is a channel. So that is what we want. Let me just zoom out so you can see the channel. So lots of things are telling me to sell euro Aussie dollar, but we are literally at these lows, right? And even if we got a break of these lows, let's say we got a candle that looks like this, I still think, you know, things are a bit too overextended on the H4. There's no value there. If I started selling here, I really want to try and aim and put my stop loss above there. So you're going to have a huge stop loss, right, by entering now, or even a break of these lows. Okay, so potential scenarios for this trade, right? And again, guys, we'll be looking to take, you know, a bit of a swing trade, but we're looking to take price down to this 1.7600. And if you think about that, then okay, you could take the trade, right? If you started selling here, right, put your stop above here, you know, you're still getting your 1:1 or more. This would be more like 1:1.6 or something, right? So you're still getting, so you could in that respect. But for me, I would want to see two things happen, right? So we find some buyers at this level and then price comes back up. You can see where my alarm is, right? In fact, I would move this alarm to here, to that 7,800 level, right? That I like that level. So if we got price move back up into here and then we got a nice bearish candle, right? Then we could start selling, still putting our stops here, but then all of a sudden, our stop loss is a bit tighter, right? Not that I want tight stop losses, but I want more value, right? I want to get in at a better price. And this is a better price than here, right? Just simple logic, right? So that's what I wait for. This retest, bearish candle, and then we could start selling. Or alternatively, right, we get this break and then we get a move back into this level, right? The smart river, which is part of our price action pro indicator, starts coming round as well. And then we get this double whammy resistance. Again, we get a bearish candle. I always do when I say bearish candle, I always do one of them, but it could be, you know, just a big bearish candle like that, right? Get something like that, and then we could start selling, you know, with stops kind of above the river in here. So they're the scenarios I would look at, Jane, right? For me to take that trade. Yeah. So no, sell now, not for me, right? And you've also, and don't worry about FOMO, right? You see price doing this and you're like, shit, quick, let's get in, right? But even if it just does that, which is highly unlikely, so be it. I don't have a trade. But the likelihood is, not easy to say, is it's going to do that and come down, or it's going to do that and come down. Those two scenarios are more likely than it just doing that. Right? You watch now, it's going to do that. But I don't care if it does that. What I've just said is true. The likelihood is you're going to get that pullback at some point, and that's where we get in. So yeah, you know, and another way to look at it is you're a swing trader, right? So you can start selling here. There's your target, there's your stop loss. And if it does pull back up into here, you could add another sell position, right? You could build a position, right? Then it comes down, right? Then you're nicely in profit. Maybe you take some profit off this one. Then it pulls back. Then you add another sell in here, move your stop loss down to here, right? Price comes and does this. This is some real skillful trading, right? So obviously a lot of what I show you on here, guys, is mainly entries, but managing trades like this is really what's going to make the difference between, you know, good trading and excellent trading, right? And maximum reward, minimum risk, right? This kind of building of trades. And again, guys, look, you know, if you want, there's numerous tutorials on this, right? We have it in our VIP Trading Academy, right, which is on the website, or in the Discord, right? Join it either way. Or we have the course, right, which explains all of this in depth. So go check it out, guys, right? If you're serious about trading, invest in it, right? Even if it's not me, right? You need to invest in some knowledge of trading, right? I genuinely believe that. So yeah, there you go. That's Euro Aussie dollar. Right, what else are we looking at? Okay, so Eugene's sharing our his silver trade. And guys, if your name's in green like Eugene and you're a supporter of the channel, I will always look at your questions first. And if you want to become a supporter, just click on the channel somewhere, I don't know where, and join. Right, Eugene's silver trade. Let's look at Eugene in action. We're going to stay on the H4. So entry was 53.11. Okay, so you've entered up here. Okay, so this is almost like a scalp, Eugene, right? So you've entered about here. Stop loss was at 53.27. Am I getting this right? So your stop loss is bigger than your entry, Eugene. Or are you selling? No, you're buying. Just check your numbers there, Eugene. All right. Andreas, pound US dollar. Okay, let's have a quick look. Pullback. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the daily chart. And again, I put this in this call today, in the VIP today, guys. I'm just staying away from pound because the budget is such a big thing for the UK market to digest and the pound to digest, right? It's not just an employment figure. It's not just a CPI figure. There's a whole host of things for the market to digest. So just for that reason, I'm staying away from the pound today and just see how it behaves today, right? But, you know, technically, right, we were kind of seeing this, bang, bang, right? And this just sums up the markets a bit. Look at that volatility, downtrend, bang, uptrend. Now, technically, yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Pullback, we buy, okay? Now, let me show you this on the weekly. Right, you can clearly see there's a bit of a level through here, right? And we're in this, it's scruffy, but we're in this downtrend, right? Do I want to start buying into that? Not really. It just doesn't fill me with confidence, really. And I want to see, like I say, how the budget is digested. And if we look at the monthly as well, you know, we've been having quite a big sell-off with pound pairs, right? I will keep an eye on the monthly, guys. If I'm a little bit undecided with daily and weekly, I'm like, I'm not too sure what's going on. you know, I'll stay out of the trade, but just for my own knowledge, I'll take a look at the monthly and I'll say, right, what's going on here? And, you know, again, there's a lot of selling pressure here, but ultimately we're in an uptrend and we're at a, you know, we're at the smart river, right? Could it do this? Could these sellers continue down? US dollar pairs are all a bit tricky at the moment, and they're all a bit tricky because I mentioned it yesterday, but the dollar index, I mean, this is the monthly chart. Let's stay on the monthly, right? Look at that level through there, the $100 level, you know, the $1 million man. This is like this. This is the $100 level. So just what is the market going to do here, right? Breaks, US dollar strength, big bearish action, US dollar weakness. Simple as that. And I'm going to wait for the market to tell me what to do there. It hasn't as yet. And on that note, guys, we have run out of time. Nigel, sorry, my old China, run out of time. Eugene will look at your trade again next week. Is this the last one for this week? Yes, it is. It's Thursday. So guys, please don't forget to check out my weekly Forex forecast. We drop that every Saturday. That tells you exactly my plan for the trading week. And also come join us next week for more live streams. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, same time as usual, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Please go check out the website and please come join our free Discord. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys, and I'll see you soon.